Hey guys, how you doing? I asked which homework you guys think I should do a video on to help people out. I got this response, which is homework 3.1. So I'm going to tweak it and show you how to do it, but the same steps that I use in the tweak are applicable to the homework. So homework 3.1, it's basically a Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion program, and we look at the instructions here. She wants us to have a prompt. Enter Fahrenheit temperature as decimal, right? So we know we have to take in a float. A float. And she wants us to output our Fahrenheit temperature, F. The symbol F for Fahrenheit is equal to the Celsius temperature, and with the Celsius symbol C, right? And we see some example here. So someone put in 75.2 Fahrenheit. It gives you 24.0 degrees Celsius, right? But we're going to do this the opposite way. We're going to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit, just so I don't really do the homework in the video. But the same steps I follow here, you can follow too to solve this one. You just have to flip it. So this is the equation for finding the Celsius temperature given the Fahrenheit temperature, where F is equal to Fahrenheit. So we see it's parentheses F minus 32 times 5 divided by 9, right? This is the equation. Now for the opposite, to get the Fahrenheit from the Celsius, this is the equation right here. So it's Fahrenheit equals Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. Okay. One thing I noticed with these homework assignments, if you read the assignment, you can use the assignment to write the code a lot of times. The assignment hints you at what functions you need to use and whatnot, and suggestions for variable names like Fahrenheit temperature, Celsius temperature, and the outputs, etc. So just, yeah. And also, well, she has two hints here. Be careful not to use integer division. Here the formula division. Here is the formula, right? So that's telling me this is going to be using data types of type double. Because with integers you lose the decimal portion, and that could screw up your answer. And it says remember to use printf to format the output, right? I believe she wants it, to format the output to 1 decimal place. So you can see why she wants you to use printf. And it says to make sure to end each line of output with new line. That's important for Zybooks, right? So in the homework it says Fahrenheit to Celsius, right? But I'm going to have mine Celsius to Fahrenheit. That's what I'm going to name it. So I'm going to go over to, okay. Actually, this is lecture. Okay. Celsius to Fahrenheit. Whoops, that was a mistake. Forgot to put .java. Okay, good. Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay, so we see we have our class here. That's going to contain our main method, and it matches the name of the Java file, right? Celsius to Fahrenheit is the same up here. Celsius to Fahrenheit .java. That's important. So I'm going to define the main class. It's going to be, whoops, sorry, I accidentally cut and paste from my past assignment. Okay. All right. public static void main string pay no attention to what's going on here. I don't know why it says that, but okay. Alright. Okay, back up here. Args. Okay, so I got my main class, and I know I need two variables, right? Remember, this is Celsius to Fahrenheit. The homework is Fahrenheit to Celsius, but okay. So I'm going to define, I'm going to use a double data type. I'm going to do, actually, we can use float also. Let's use float, because I feel like temperatures aren't that large, right? Doubles are for like really long decimal numbers. So let's use float. We're going to name this one Fahrenheit temperature, right? And then we're going to do another one, Celsius temperature, right? So we have two definitions here. So two declarations, Fahrenheit temperature and Celsius temperature. Now, I'm going to go ahead and declare a scanner class. A scanner object, inputs equals new scanner system.in. Okay. And then I know I need a prompt, right? So I'm going to do system.out.print print line, right? And I'm going to go back and see what the outputs looked like. Okay. It says enter the Fahrenheit temperature as decimal. Okay. So again, you try to cut and paste this stuff in because you want to avoid making mistakes. You want it to have it like how Zybooks has it. Right? And let's not forget, we're doing the opposite. So I'm going to switch this to Celsius. Okay. So I'm going to do inputs. Sorry. I'm collecting the Celsius temperature. So Celsius temperature is equal to inputs dot next float, right? That gets a float for me. And then I'm going to look at the equation for converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, right? Can we, copy? I'm going to put it right here, just so I can see it in front of my face as I figure out how I'm going to like set this up, right? Okay. So I'm going to say Celsius temperature, no, sorry, Fahrenheit temperature is equal to, see, I need a parentheses based on what I'm seeing up here. I'm going to do Celsius temperature times 1.8 plus 32, right? Okay, and then this should convert my Celsius temperature into Fahrenheit, right? To be sure, I can do a quick check, right, before I begin to format the output. Print Fahrenheit temperature, right? And so as a test input, what we could do is we could think about the common temperatures in Celsius that we can easily relate to Fahrenheit. for me, it's 0 degrees Celsius is equals to 32 degree Fahrenheit. You know, things freeze at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and in Celsius they freeze at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So if I put in 0 Celsius, I should be able to get back out 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's my test case. Okay. It says cannot convert from double to float. Okay, line 13. Yeah, this is the problem. Anytime you're dealing with floats, you have to add an F to the literals. Right, that was a mistake there. Run without debugging. Okay. So let's see, 0 degrees. Yeah, it works. So the math is right. The math is correct, right? And you can do this when the homework, which asks you to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius. You could say 32 degrees. You could put in 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should give you 0 degrees Celsius. That's how you know if your math is right, right? So yeah. So I guess at this point I could begin to format the output. So I'm going to go back and look at the Zybook one more time to see what the output should look like. Okay. So she says your output must be of the format Fahrenheit temperature F equals Celsius temperature C, right? And we could just cut and paste this. Copy. And we can do system.out. Remember, we're going to use printf. Sorry. Okay. Right. So, but this is going to be the opposite, right? We're going to do it opposite. We're going to go Celsius temperature, right, is equal to Fahrenheit. Right, and we're not going to use these. We're going to use format specifiers instead. But we know this is how the variables should look on the other side of for the next arguments for the printf statement. So we could fill them in: Celsius temperature and Fahrenheit temperature, right? And then we could do format specifier. So we clear this out so we could replace that with the actual values. And she wants them to 1 decimal place. So percent sign, we use the precision portion of the specifier, which is the dot. We say 1F. So that will print out decimal numbers with 1 decimal place to 1 decimal place, right? 1 place after the decimal. Okay. Okay. All right, and then we just close inputs because we want to close our resources. And we could go ahead and delete this just to make sure the code doesn't have more stuff in there than what's necessary. Okay. Alright, let's run it. Let's use our test case again. Okay, so there's a error here. It crashed. I wonder why. Let's debug. Okay. So this is like a printout of where the error originated with the last action. So we go down, down, down. Now we see it's in our code Celsius to Fahrenheit.java line 12. Let's see what's up with line 12. System that out. Okay, that exists. That exists. Huh. Okay. Wonder what's the problem. I think it's the format specifier. Yeah, this doesn't look right. Right? That's the problem. It should have been dot. How many decimal places? F. Right? So extract, compile, and run it again. 0.0. There we go. So 0 degrees Celsius is equal to 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how you would go about approaching a problem. But this particular problem, I just flipped it. The assignment wanted Fahrenheit to Celsius. But we're doing Celsius to Fahrenheit, right? So you can just, like, all this logic that I'm using here is the same logic that you would use in the other assignment. But there's one thing I need you to remember. All right, for the homework assignment, look at the equation. This is the equation right here for the homework assignment. The problematic part of this equation is like right here, 5, 9, right? Java is going to do this portion as an integer evaluation. So 5 divided by 9 as an integer evaluation is 0. You want the fractional portion or decimal portion. So you'd have to cast 5, 9 as a double. So you could either make 5.0 or 9.00, or you could do an explicit cast where you do you cast one of them like this. You do like, let's see, 5 divided by 9. You do like a cast like this, double, right? That's an explicit cast. Or you do 5.0 on one of them, or 9.0 on one of them. That's a implicit cast, right? So the compiler knows you want to treat the evaluation or the expression as a double, and it will save as a double, save the results, so you don't lose information in the math, right? So yeah, that's it. All the logic that I used here can be used in the other problem. Oh yeah, let's not forget this part. New line. She wants a new line, right?